Good evening and welcome to the Whiskey Lovers Society with me, Gert Retief. Going to be a short video today. Oban Distillers Edition 2021, bottled at 43% ABV. It is a sample that I bought from my newly found best whiskey store in Holland. So quite happy with them, quite happy with the service. No, this is not a sponsored video. It is just somebody that's quite happy to find quite strange whiskies, sometimes unaffordable for me to buy a full bottle. So it's nice to have a place where I can buy a decent sample, 60 centiliters. Not going to advertise, but of course it is makes sense for me, as I cannot keep on buying full bottles just to do a quick review. I don't really have a lot of information on the whiskey. I know they use Montillo Vino cask for maturation, and that's about 14 years old. It's distilled in 2007, bottled in 2021, and I'm quite looking forward to this one. Now, I did the previous Oban not so long ago. I'll put a link on the in description. It was a strange one. It really challenged the nose. It challenged the palate. Also 14 years old, also bottled at 43% ABV. Of course, this is a Diageo bottle, so sometimes the prices can be a little bit crazy, but this one, if you do a little bit of digging, you can still find 85 euro here in Europe for a bottle, 14 years old. Not really a bad price. Now, not going to be a long video. It's all going to be about the nosing and tasting. Do I find that strange note on the normal Oban 14 years old? Cheers. And indeed, it is definitely a strange one. The same as the previous one. A little bit more fruity notes. I know in the previous Oban I got loads and loads of honey. Real honey. Now this one, there's also quite a lot of fruity components. It reminds me, well, I'm not going to pick out, it's not a raisiny sweetness, but a hint of an orange, a little bit of a peach note. It's a little bit of a perfumey note. And then there's a little bit of like a fruit that has gone overripe. There's a little bit of a funkiness that comes in. Not unpleasant, but there's definitely, that's a little bit, that extra, maybe it's concentrated of that fruit that's been a little bit concentrated for me. But it is quite strange, and it boggles the mind how a whiskey can sometimes just bowl you over with something that you just cannot put your finger on it, or in this case you cannot put your tongue on it. It is pleasant. There's a little bit of a orangey note. There's a little bit of a date note, a little bit of a fig note, and that sweetness that gets a little bit elevated every time. A little bit of a peachy note with a sprinkle of cinnamon. Quite nice. And there's also a dusty note for me. I do kind of like the strangeness of this one. On the taste, cheers. But on the taste, it's fantastic. It's sweet. It's got that dried fruit component to it. It's got a little peach note, maybe a peach with a little bit of sugar on top, with a little bit of a caramelization. When you put fresh peaches, cut it up, put it on a fire, you get that griddle marks on it. I do like this one. Let me just try again. And it is quite sweet. And it feels like a sweetness is building up. I get zero out. There's no bitter notes. I get a little bit of a toffee note, a little bit of a dark chocolate note. And every time when I go back on the nose as well, it does get a little bit sweeter on the nose for me. Also, before I forgot, I also got some exciting to show you guys. My mug at some of my little creation. Took me a while to create this. This is my mug. I have a store or a merchandise store. If you are interested in some mugs and t-shirts and shirts and hoodies, well, this is one of them that I just ordered. My wife asked if I need more whiskey with some emojis. Of course, I think a lot of people can relate to that. Your wife wants to know, don't you have enough whiskey? Well, this is my response from the future. She asked me that question. Here you go. I don't have to say anything. If you want to have a look, I think somewhere at the bottom there's a link to my merchandise store. Have a look and feel free to buy something. So, but on the whiskey, it is a nice one. It's inviting, it's sweet. It's something that I think anybody that's not even a whiskey drinker will enjoy. 80 odd euros for a bottle. Seems a little bit expensive until you get that little strangeness, that difference that's not mediocre. I kind of like this one. Same with the normal Oban 14 that we reviewed already. I will definitely put my stamp of approval on it, and I'll see if I can find a full bottle. Maybe not now, but definitely something that I do like. So that's me on the Distillers Edition 2021. One more sip. Really drinkable. And of course I got a new glass as well from my wife. Don't know what it was for. There is some writing on it. I need to investigate it a little bit. But I do love this wee little glass. And quite strong. And I think it will travel well. Just to put it inside the shoe. So that I don't always have to get or drink out of a plastic cup or plastic glass. So thank you very much for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe. And I see you next time. Cheers.